time for another update. It's only been a day or two since the last one, but there's something I noticed that's very important. If you look at this, you'll see the snails are cleaning it up, but you'll also see that it's not growing back. So this is part of this is learning to read your tank. And it used to be that every day more algae was being replenished, more algae was growing. But we see that the algae has significantly slowed down, if not stopped, growing. This will signify that the water has basically lost nutrient. There's no more building blocks. I shouldn't say no more. There's very little. And you can see this because of what I mentioned. Look at how clear that glass is, how clear the front glass is. It's not perfect, but it's very clear. How clear that is. This algae is not growing back, and that is important to know. That means the tank needs more food. This front glass should be just as green as this side glass, but all the nutrient in the water, most of the nutrient in the water, I should say, was used up in creating these thick films of algae, and now there's no more left. So, in consequence, these macroalgae are not going to grow nearly as well, if at all. So, I need to add in some more of this food. It's old, so old, but I think the bacteria is pretty good. And then these guys, as you can see, they're open just fine, no light. You can see the hair algae is growing on them. That's not good. That's also consuming nutrient as well. But I need to do some work and scrub off this hair algae and try to get these a little happier. Algae does seem to irritate coral a little bit. And yeah, just a quick update and a quick tip on rating your tank using algae. It's a good indicator of what's going on and how polluted your water is, etc. As you notice, there's almost nothing here. Slight bit of growth there because there's a little bit of light that's bleeding over here. But other than that, nothing's growing in the rest of the tank because I have no light over it. It's only over here. And this is going to be the refugium. Seems to be smart to start up the refugium first, get all sorts of algae growing, and then when I start this up, there's not going to be a whole bunch of nuisance algae growing in there because all of the consumption will be over here. Quick tip, keep following along. So our power went out yesterday, and so it knocked out the timer for my light. So I ended up leaving it on all night. I think 13 hours, 14 hours, and see, no algae. None, hardly. No new algae growth. So, yeah, my theory is correct. Nutrients are depleted. I've got to add some more. It's strange, though, the hair algae, it's just not affected in the same way. It's very annoying. Doesn't exactly follow the rules. It's like it gets its nutrients first. Everyone else can have the leftovers. Because that stuff is looking fine and green. Corals don't seem to care too much that the light was left on for a while, so that's good. Well, it's going to go off for the day. I'll have to do the tedious task of resetting this timer. It's not very friendly. Okay, it's the next day. Not a whole lot more to report, but this has grown more. It's growing pretty quick, which is good. You can see that. Another stalk coming out of the base there. And then you can see this root, rhizome, I believe. I gotta look up the correct terminology. I really should know it, but just need a refresher. Anyway, that one also looks like it's gonna sprout, but you can see from the white tip that indicates growth. Nothing really on the existing leaves, nothing back here either. This is losing color, not quite enough nutrients probably to support everything that's in here. Nothing on this one yet either. Might be doing all its work underground. I'd like to see this one here in the center bring back some green growth, but once it gets to this point, I don't know if they come back. But very interestingly enough, this is what people refer to as going sexual, and I think this is the experience they have. I was talking to somebody the other day who had all their macroalgae go clear and melt, and that's what they said happened to it. But from my experience now, I can see that it's just a lack of nutrient, because that's exactly what happened to this one over here. And they're not doing, it's not that they're releasing their gametes into the water or something. What they're doing is they're dying. So if your macroalgae starts to go clear, or for calcareous algae, if it starts to go white, it's a nutrient imbalance. And by imbalance, I mean probably a lack, a deficiency. So just get some more, either feed more or dose a macroalgae supplement. Get one specifically for salt water. The one I've got for fresh water has some trace amounts of copper in it. It's got a 0.001% concentration, and the ones for salt water have none whatsoever. And so you don't have to worry about copper buildup. That's pretty much it for today. These Paleothoas are still upset that I scrubbed them, but oh well, they'll recover. They'll get over it. I still need to remove this writing from the side here. Anyway, I think these little growths are new as well. I'm not entirely sure. I think that one is. You see the white on it. Oh, there's a little white tip on that one as well that I'm seeing now against that dark pebble. So good. Lots of growth here. I wonder if I just cut that one, if it'll grow. Stop the recession. Not sure. Man, I gotta pull that or cover it up. I think covering up might work. I'll do that. I gotta get some more water though. Because of this storm, the outside top off water froze. So I've got 20 gallons of frozen RO. I think I'm gonna have to take a torch to it, melt it, and bring some back because it's so low I can't run my system, and my salinity is gonna slowly creep up and up. So I'll probably take care of that tonight. Since it's Friday, I'll have some time. Probably gonna put a little bit more food in here, boost the nutrients a little bit more, since I know I've got a little bit of consumption. Maybe in the main tank, try to grab some Caulerpa and transplant some more over here, some more clean stuff. I'm trying to transplant only Caulerpa and not hair algae so that I can start off on the right foot. That's it for today. See you next time.